Ladies and gentlemen, in a couple of moments, we're going to begin the service. We ask for those that have a cell phone, a pager, if you could turn it to the silent mode. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that are standing, if you could please be seated. Officiating is Rabbi Barry Schechter.
Well, the sun is surely sinking down, but the moon is slowly rising. So this whole world must still be spinning around, and I still love you. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes, it's alright. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore, but I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone. It won't be long before another day we're gonna have a good time, and no one's gonna take that time away. You can stay as long as you like. So close your eyes. You can close your eyes, it's alright. I don't know no love songs, and I can't sing the blues anymore, but I can sing this song, and you can sing this song when I'm gone.
Mismole David, Adonai, mi yagur be'alecha, mi yishkon behar kodshecha, olech ta'amim, ufoel tzedek, ודבר אמת בלבבו, לא רגל לשונו, לא עשה לרעהו רע, וחרפה לא נשא על קרובו, נפצה בעיניו נמאס, ואת יראי אדוני יכבד. נשבע הרע ולא ימיר, כספו לא נתן בנשך, ושוחד הנקי לא לקח. עושה אלה לא ימות לעולם. God, who may abide in your house, who may dwell in your holy mountain, those who are upright, who do justly, who speak the truth within their hearts, who do not slander others or wrong them or bring shame upon them, who give their word and come what may do not retract, who do not exploit others, those who live in this way shall never be shaken. Dear friends, we're here for a sad and difficult occasion to say goodbye, which is one of the most difficult things we can ever do, especially under circumstances such as these. But we're also here to honor the memory and to celebrate the life of Dr. Arthur Hooberman, Art, the son of Harry and Martha, who leaves behind family and friends and colleagues and so many, and patients, who really loved him very dearly and he loved them. His life's partner, Carol, Dr. Carol Marinch. His children, Hilary, it'd be quicker if I just said who's not a doctor, Dr. Hilary, and her Nathan Aronson, and son Nathan Hooberman. Brothers, Dr. Peter and his Deborah, Dr. Robert and his Barbara, Dr. Barbara, and Daniel, Dr. Daniel, and his Mary, former sister-in-law, Barbara Reynolds, nephews, nieces, cousins, so many. And we're going to begin by hearing from the family and friends. So I'm going to call upon Carol to talk about her husband, Art. Here, I'm going to open this for you.
No, I'm good.
Take it, okay. It's just water, nothing stronger.
Hi, thank you all for being here. I'm Carol. I was recently given the title of Mama Hoobs, which I kind of like, so that might be my new name, I don't know. Can you all hear me? I met Art in 1979, during the first week of our first year of medical school at the University of Michigan. He was the cute, flirty guy in front of me with a great mustache who was talking about his disappointment with apples that look great on the outside but are pulpy inside. He recommended that we go to the hospital cafeteria for lunch, where the clam chowder was reputed to be excellent. It was not. But despite that, we started having lunch together nearly every day between classes, getting to know each other while sitting in the sun on the lawn near the Hill dorms. He was smart and funny and easy to talk to, and we became friends. A few months later, we finally had a real date, dinner at Pizza Bob's, followed by an hour of playing pinball, and here we are now, so many years later. We loved and supported each other through the intense highs and lows of medical school, internal medicine residency, and a move to Chicago for his oncology fellowship at University of Chicago. He was my most fervent supporter when it all seemed too hard, and I was his. We eventually settled in Evanston and had our two amazing children, Hillary and Nathan, who were the two bright lights in our lives. He decided on a career in clinical oncology rather than an academic life of research after he suffered a serious health crisis and had an epiphany about what was most important to him, namely time to spend with his family, time to get to know his patients and help them in whatever way he could as they navigated their cancer diagnoses and treatments, and time to develop his many other talents and interests. These included, but were not limited to, golf, music, woodworking, cooking, reading, watching old movies, traveling up north to spend time by the lake, following Michigan sports teams, especially the Michigan Wolverines, go blue, and of course, Texas Hold'em poker. Some interests were more successful than others. Piano, yes. Violin, not so much. However, he did eventually learn to make a violin from scratch. Most of his cooking projects were a great success, with the notable exception being the time he tried to glaze a ham with an industrial propane torch Dinner was ruined, and our house smelled like gas for days, but it did make for a great story for years afterwards. He was always present for our children. He made hundreds of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for their lunches, participated in their school activities, coached their sports teams. He introduced us to Groucho Marx movies and corny dad jokes. He never convinced us to love jazz the way he did, and Nathan never convinced him to like K-pop, but we did find a lot of common ground between those extremes. For a while, we had a vacation house in rural Indiana, which had a great tire swing, 3 goats who frequently escaped their pen, and beautiful trails to walk and explore. One of our best family memories is going to pick blueberries at a nearby farm and then coming back home to have Art make his famous blueberry muffins. He tolerated our many cats, but never learned to love them. He loved our many dogs, especially our current dog, Lacey. Art was her person, and she was his buddy and companion. The fact that he did all this while battling chronic health issues and chronic pain really speaks to how he embraced his life, coming back each time from his many setbacks with steadfast determination to regain his strength. He was fortunate to have the love and support of his family, especially his 3 brothers, and of his friends and his colleagues. I'm not sure I told him enough how much I loved and admired him. I hope I did. I'm going to miss him forever, and I love you, Art.
Thank you, Carol. And now, Robert. Can you tell me how to pronounce this name, Dr. Peter Stacey, is it? I don't know. No, okay.
I'm Robert, one of Arthur's brothers, along with Peter and Danny. I know that he has gone by Art for many years, but he's always been Arthur to us, and I'll try to be ecumenical about it. We're here to pay tribute to an extraordinary man, a loving and caring husband, a father, brother, doctor, and friend. His kindness was legendary. Carol spoke of how much effort he took in introducing his caregivers to her, inquiring of their families, and making sure that Carol knew as much as possible about them. I have always known that if I was bedeviled by a problem, I could depend on his compassion and intelligent understanding. Advice was not given, rather empathy conveyed. Both Hillary and Nathan exclaimed numerous times to me what a great dad he was. I have every reason to believe that. He was a forceful advocate for his children. He was appropriately concerned with any of their struggles, but always supported them and believed in them. Oncology is not a specialty for the faint of heart, yet he was always dedicated and concerned and would agonize over those whose course was not smooth. As the youngest of 4 boys, he took his tumbles, but always got up unbowed and determined to fight for that which he felt was right. His determination was exemplified by his early Little League experience. He had trouble moving beyond minor league, but he kept trying until one year he was promoted. He also went out for football, and that lasted one practice, wisely, I think. He was not a large boy, he was a little boy. As another example of grit, Peter mentions his avid golfing, frustrating yet rewarding. He also enjoyed gambling, and Hillary remembers meeting him in Vegas and enjoying seeing him in his element. Danny remembers his quick wit. I'm not sure if this qualifies, but when my wife Barbara and I were cleaning out my brothers and I, our parents' basement, we came upon this baseball game that we were very fond of, All-Star Baseball. We also found an ancient scorecard with two teams, Art's Farts and Daniel's Granules. Two more recollections. Danny reminds me of a picture of him and Art, both dressed in identical red blazers, maybe 4 and 6, maybe something like that, as ring bearers for our cousin Susie's wedding. They were just adorable. One of our mother's sisters and her husband would sometimes invite Art over for a sleepover as their sons were grown and moved away. He seemed to enjoy the limelight of being an only child. I could go on for hours talking about how wonderful he was. Suffice it to say that he was a wonderful man who will be greatly missed.
Thank you to both of you. And now we're going to hear from Dr. John Richards, the oncologist and the longtime physician partner of Art's.
Kudos to all of you who could do this off the cuff. We had the privilege of working alongside Arthur, for more than 30 years. And what struck me most wasn't just his talent or dedication, though there were plenty of both. It was his heart. Art brought warmth into every room he walked into. He loved his bench research, but he moved on to clinical research when we left the University of Chicago and moved to Lutheran General. And then he embraced problem solving for his patients. He established a multidisciplinary head and neck cancer program which rivaled everything in the city. He also honed his other love, which was teaching. And he was a great teacher. But pity the intern who did not prepare for him appropriately and did not meet his standards. They only did that once. There's a Jewish teaching, I understand, that to save one life is to save an entire world. By extension, Art has saved many worlds. I will especially miss his insightful intellect, his collaborative approach to problem solving, his disarming bluntness, and the simple fact of him being there for advice. His work family is diminished by his loss. Carol, Hillary, Nathan, thank you for sharing him with us. Zikrono Levracha, may his memory be a blessing. Rest well, Art. Thank you for everything you've given us.
Thank you. And now a friend, Gary Fisher.
My name is Gary, and I have been a friend of Art's for almost 25 years. So I didn't know him running around in diapers or getting in trouble as a little kid or trying to play sports so much. He said he could have been a baseball player, except he couldn't hit, and running slow did not make up for that. Anyways, we met at a neighborhood card game with a bunch of guys who didn't know an ace from a hole in the ground. Art, who we all know had a keen sense of humor, would have caught that, groaned, tilted his head a bit, and given me a look. I learned Art really enjoyed poker that night when he mentioned he had built his own poker table. So that chance meeting turned into Art joining a monthly poker game, golfing, and meeting for breakfast or lunch for the next 25 years. Art and Jay, another poker and golf friend of ours, and I started playing poker online among ourselves when COVID hit, FaceTiming as we played, often continuing the conversation afterwards. I'm sure Carol remembers that. I was the bookkeeper, so I can tell you that from the beginning of COVID in March of 2020 through 2024, we got together online 560 times, spending, I would say, an average of 45 minutes to 1 hour each session. We all look forward to both the activity and the camaraderie during that time. In case you were wondering, the overall winner made close to 13 cents an hour. It wasn't Art. There were lots of moments and incidents that Art and I found amusing that came up in conversation over and over again, never to be forgotten. Just a couple, golf related. The time an errant golf shot ended up in a parking lot. He left the ball in the guy's car. Or when he sent his remote-controlled golf cart into a sand trap. Art could laugh at himself. He so enjoyed golf and took such great pleasure in just being on the course, regardless how his game was that day. Vegas. Like I say, there were moments and incidents that we just kind of talked over and over, could never forget. In Vegas, we could never unsee the 80-year-old Marilyn Monroe impersonator we saw on the Strip. Neither of us wanted a picture with her. The first time Art went to Vegas, he was astonished that were slot machines as soon as we got off the plane. I told him his comment reminded me of a line from the movie Casablanca, which of course Art knew word for word. I'm shocked to find gambling is going on here. His recall of lines from movies was astonishing. It was almost inconceivable. Art and I spoke, which to the younger generation means texted, pretty much first thing every morning for the last number of years. We exchanged Wordle and other puzzle results and maybe texted again during the day or evening if something came to mind, because that's what we did. It could be about a sports highlight, anything Michigan related, plans for breakfast, a question about family, or perhaps about some absurdity in the news. One or two sentences, maybe a short conversation, sometimes a phone call would follow. From May 26th to June 26th, the morning of his surgery, between that time, I sent Art 126 texts. He sent me 98, including the morning of his surgery. I don't need to talk about how smart Art was, what a terrific sense of humor he had, what a good doctor and colleague he was, or how he loved Carol, Hillary, Nathan, his extended family, and his pets. Everyone who here knows all of that or a piece of that. I admired him profoundly. With everything he went through medically, not once did he complain. What I tried to get across is that Art touched my life every day, and his passing leaves a huge hole in my heart, as I know it does everybody else's. It was truly a blessing to be able to call Art my treasured friend.
Thank you. And now, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name, Dr. Peter, how do you pronounce the name? It is Stacy. Dr. Peter Stacy, thank you. Friend.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's been great learning about the different sides of Art today and different part of his life that I wasn't aware of, part of which was Art's mustache phase. It was probably a good idea at the time. A story I've told, and Lauren and I have told dozens of times, is how we first all met. And it was 40 years ago this month, where kind of a country boy meets city boy variation. So Carol and Art drove their pickup truck, I'm guessing, from Ann Arbor to Chicago in Lincoln Park area. And Lauren and I had just moved from living in Manhattan for 6 years. So the very first time we got all together, Carol and Art started saying, God, the people in Chicago, they're so mean. It's so dirty here. It's so noisy. People honking horns. And Lorna and my jaws dropped saying absolutely the opposite. The people are so kind compared to Manhattan. And thus our 40-year relationship began. Art and I have shared many, many special experiences over the last 40 years, but there's no wild and crazy stories at all. There's no skydiving adventures. There's no night out on the town that we couldn't remember the next morning. There's no recounting the time that Art posted bail for me. The moments I most remember were seemingly ordinary. Bragging, excuse me. Bragging and venting about our kids, going to Bulls games, commiserating about our jobs, ranting on and on and on about politics. We solved many, many world problems, but unfortunately did not take notes. We had numerous sessions of playing spades online during COVID, gals versus guys. We enjoyed Art's outstanding cooking skills and traded margarita recipes. We counted on each other for advice, especially of the medical kind. Nothing beats having your own concierge oncologist, not to mention your own internist, and most recently, our own veterinarian. Just a phone call away. But these experiences were all memorable because of who Art was. Among many other things, he was whip smart, loyal, caring, kind, and very funny. He and I shared a similar sense of humor, which was ironic, sarcastic, and occasionally could be very annoying sense of humor. He was everything he could hope for in a friend. "40 years covers a lot of chapters in one's life. Art was an important part in all of them. He helped celebrate and enjoy life, and sometimes just helped us better survive life's challenges. We would joke about Art having more lives than the proverbial cat. His ability to put on a brave face in light of seemingly endless medical illnesses, surgeries, complications spanning decades was most impressive. I last spoke to Art a few days before he went into the hospital for his last surgery. It was a much different phone call. For the first time, Art's brave face broke down just a bit, and the call ended with tears in our eyes, just like the tears we're all fighting back today. We'll miss you terribly.
Thank you. And now, Hillary, who's going to speak for herself and for Nathan. Does Nathan want to come up with you? No, okay. Right, go ahead. Listen, if it gets difficult. It's only water, it's nothing. It's not rude. Yeah, this one's open.
For those I have not met yet, I'm Hillary, Art's favorite daughter, and I will first be reading some thoughts from my brother Nathan, my dad's favorite son. This is from Nathan. I would like to take a little bit of time to talk about my father. My dad was my best friend and a constant source of support, encouragement, and love throughout each phase of my life. I spent hours talking with him about any topic, and he always had something to teach me. He seemed to know something about everything. When I was young, we played catch on our front lawn for hours. He taught me how to pitch, and he coached every little league team I ever played on. When I became interested in guitar as a teen, he built me 2 electric guitars to play on. As an adult, we would watch movies and TV shows together. We had a never-ending game of quoting random movies and having the other person guess the source. Whenever I discovered new music, he was always the first person I showed. It delighted me that I could share the things I loved with him. In the past year, at night, he would sit in his chair and listen as I played guitar and sang. And just like in every other aspect of my life, he was happy to listen and watch me learn and grow. My dad was always there to cheer me on and tell me he loved me, and I will forever be grateful and love him with all my heart. It's impossible to fully capture all the wonderful parts of my dad's life or his impact on my own with so few words. So I am thankful for all the people who spoke today about his life. He was a brilliant light on the world and a gift to all who knew him. As we all grieve the loss of my dad, I hope we can also remember the wonderful life he lived and the principles that guided him: kindness, empathy, humor, and love for family, friends, and life itself. Okay, and I have some remarks as well. I don't know if there are enough positive and descriptive adjectives in the universe to try and adequately describe the unbelievable, kind, hilarious, goofy, compassionate, empathetic, intelligent, witty, giving, adventurous, curious, and determined person that my dad was, although I did just make my best effort to fit as many into that sentence as I possibly could. I think that his incredible and one-of-a-kind personality and way of living can be better demonstrated through some stories. He was very adventurous and curious. When I was a kid, he was my very responsible and dedicated father and caregiver who was always home in time for dinner and always packed my school lunches. But as I grew up and started wanting to have my own adventures, I realized that I had inherited my adventurous spirit from him. When I was in my 20s, I decided I wanted to go on a solo trip to Europe. I wanted to stay in hostels and travel around to a bunch of countries all by myself. When I told my parents, my mom was very apprehensive and nervous, but my dad surprised me by emphatically telling me to go. He said he'd gone on a similar trip in his 20s, and it had been an incredible, unforgettable experience. In these last few days since he passed, I kept thinking about this trip he'd told me he'd done and how I wish I'd written down the places he'd gone. Then 2 days ago, I discovered all these postcards that he'd sent to his mom when he was on his trip, and they detailed all the cities and countries he'd gone and how he felt about them. Germany was meh. Paris, Amsterdam, and Copenhagen were 2 thumbs up. He was an unbelievably dedicated father and problem solver. When I went away to college, I was terrified. Not only did he come with me to a new state to help me move into a dorm and unpack all my stuff, but he noticed that there was about a 5-inch gap between my lofted twin bed and the wall. And there was no nightstand, so there was nowhere to put my glasses or water bottle or anything I might need at bedtime. Now, some people might have gone to Target or IKEA, but my dad went to the hardware store in this brand new city, and he bought all the tools and a bunch of lumber, and he built a custom shelf in the hallway of my dorm to sit in between my bed and the wall. And of course, it was a perfect level shelf. That willingness he had to go truly above and beyond to solve a problem and to try and help me feel better during this tough time is so representative of who he was, always. If I was struggling, he was there. He was known to go all in on projects like that. My brother once entered into a Pinewood Derby race when he was a young kid, which is those races you get a block of wood and you carve it into a car, you add wheels and axles and you race it. Some dads would probably get a kit or maybe read a quick tutorial, but our dad went all in and researched the aerodynamics and Pinewood Derby car physics and all the strategies for making the best car. And him and Nathan together built an expert-level Derby car, and wouldn't you know it, they won the entire Pinewood Derby car tournament. He was a very involved and nurturing dad in person. He had an incredibly important and intense career, and it would have been understandable if he'd been at work all the time or been too tired when he got home to do much, but he was the opposite. I don't have memories of him never being home. Rather, I remember him making family dinners, coaching my brother's sports teams, joking around with us, helping us practice musical instruments, and attending any and all of our extracurriculars, no matter how painful it probably was to sit through ninth graders performing A Midsummer Night's Dream. He was, as we all jokingly referred to him, the head chef of the house, or a short order cook. And like all things he set his mind to and discovered an interest in, he did not just cook basic meals. He was a self-taught, incredible chef and would take on intricate gourmet-level dishes. In classic dad fashion, he also went above and beyond for holidays and made fantastic multi-course feasts. And when he decided to do something, he went all in. I think some of my favorite memories are when he'd take pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of potatoes to a family friend's house for Hanukkah and make all the latkes for the evening for everyone there, 30 people or more. And I've never found better latkes than the ones he makes. I would be remiss if I did not also mention how funny and goofy and witty he was, because many of my memories of him and all of us together as a family involve him just being my goofy, silly dad. If I was talking about how long it takes to wash or dry or cut my hair, he would always look at me and say deadpan, "Hillary, me too," and point to his bald head. These self-deprecating dad jokes were a staple in the Hooberman household. He also loved quoting funny bits from his favorite movies. My mom told me that when he was in the hospital recently, he managed to quote Bruce Willis from Die Hard, complete with the New York cop accent. Ultimately, he was a phenomenal person, man, doctor, and father. He was just a truly good person, and he made an impact on everyone he spent time with. And he was always, always, always there for me, for Nathan, for Mom, for his family, for those he loved, and for his patients. No matter the crisis, he wanted to be there, wanted to listen, and wanted to help. One of our last regular phone calls was him giving me work advice and insisting that I advocate for myself at work. And he found the strength to do this while in the hospital healing from a surgery. He just always wanted us, his kids, to be happy, healthy, and fulfilled, and he would go out of his way to help us achieve our goals. I have never felt grief like this before, and ironically, he's the person who I most wish I could turn to help me understand and process this level of profound despair and sadness. But I was fortunate to be able to turn to him in times of need many times in the past, and I can say from experience that he would probably tell me, and all of those grieving his passing, that he loves us, and he wants us to live happy, fulfilled lives. I hope I can make him proud and carry his legacy with me, and I hope we can all try to carry his spirit with us by trying to live every day more like he did, with kindness, compassion, dedication, perseverance, and a great sense of humor along the way.
Carol, the music is going to be, the music is going to be after this, right?
I'm sorry?
The music will be after this, yes? Yeah, not now, afterwards. Oh, it's now, okay.
Stephen, my dad's longtime friend and piano instructor, is going to play a piece in honor of him.
Thank you, Stephen, for the beautiful music. And thank you, all of you, for these beautiful speeches. I was introduced to the family actually over the weekend on the phone and met in person with so many of you afterwards. I was struck when, Carol, when you told of how you met. And you said that Art made you lunch. And what really impressed you, this extraordinary thing for someone who's going to school, college, biochemistry sectional, and this will amaze all of you, so please be prepared, because it was not your experience personally. He was able to stock his apartment with fresh fruit and vegetables. And you found this so extraordinary that your marriage was essentially arranged at that moment. So it was all due, this is a healthy marriage, it was all due to fresh fruit and vegetables. And if there are any extreme health food advocates here, you should be proud. The result of that, whether it was fresh fruit, vegetables or not, is people we're seeing here, so many of you, but of course, from the earlier time, the brothers who grew up with him, and everyone I heard from said the same thing from different angles. I always get worried if I meet a family and I hear contradictory accounts. I start getting frightened. There was no such fear here. He was really, just to hear about this man, first of all, his talent, just sheer native talent, brain, and curiosity. I'm using the nouns. Hilary, you had this wonderful cascade of adjectives. But to hear this, and this almost, the universal nature of this man, that, first of all, in the qualities that he had, because none of the qualities that a person should have, if they're lucky, none of them was missing. First of all, as I say, the talent, then the determination, the utter determination that you told me when we met, is going to go his own way. Regardless, you told me about one remarkable incident that you lived in the suburbs of Detroit, and there was a road you called 8 Mile Road. I'm not personally familiar with that place. I'm not sure if I should ever go there at night or by day. But apparently there was a jazz club there, and he loved jazz. And his dad knew of his interest in jazz and said, "Don't go there." Well, Art was a very determined young man, and he went there. And I don't know if you can describe this as a total success, because not only had he gone there, but somehow it happened that the car was stolen. After this triumph, well, this just illustrates someone going their own way. He survived, he triumphed over this as over other events in his life. As I said, the talent, but not only that, the moral quality, the love, the devotion, the heart, as you said, for family, for patience. But also this wonderful, wonderful curiosity about just about everything, except cats. You used a wonderful phrase. You said, when I was sitting with you, you said, he didn't understand cats. I'm still trying to work out what that means. but you will explain it to me later. But really, everything. He wanted to know everything. He wanted to do everything. He wanted to make everything. Didn't always succeed, but that did not stop him. There's so many qualities in one human being, in one man. It's wonderful. And you were blessed to have him. He was a bracha. He was a blessing in your lives. I'm very sorry that I only know him through what you have told me, and that I never could meet him in person. I know that he would have enriched my life as he enriched so many others. And of him I say now, Tehei nishmato tzurura b'tzuror hachayim, may his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. And to him I say, Arthur, Art, son of Harry and Martha, lech b'shalom, geh in Frieden, go in peace. May you have, Alechting Gan Eden, may your repose be in paradise. You will never be forgotten. In fact, your memory, the memories of you will sustain and encourage people long after you have gone, as they were encouraged and supported by you when you were here physically. Amen. And now, I'm going to, we're not streaming this, are we? No, okay. Can I have those of you wearing the ribbons, if you would come out, please, and stand with me. I'm going to cut the ribbons, which is a sign of mourning, and I will say a bracha, I will say a blessing with you that we say on such occasions. Please come either side, yeah. Don't go away. Yeah, come there. Could you lift it up for me, please? Thank you. Yeah, come there. Could you lift it up for me, please? Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yes. Why don't we all go on this side? Okay. Just come around this side. So I'm going to, just come closer, please. Yeah, just come as close as space will allow. I'm going to say a blessing, a bracha, that we say on these occasions. Just say the words after me. Some of you will know the words, but the others can just repeat it. So, Baruch, Atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Ha'olam, Dayan, Ha'emet, which means blessed be the true judge. That's what we say when we suffer a loss. You can go back to your seats, but please remain standing. Could I ask the rest of you, if you could, to rise, please? If it is difficult for you to stand, please do not stand. If it's difficult, just remain seated. Please don't make any extra effort. El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamramim, Hamtzei, Hamitzei, Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanefei Ashina, V'mahalot Kedashim Tearim, Kezohar Harakia Masirim, Et Nishmat Arthur Ben Harry Martha Shalach Lilamo Bavo Shanach Nadrim Nitztaka Ve'ad Haskarat Nishmato Began Eden Tehei Menuchato Lachin Balarachamim Yastirei Ubeseit Kenafav Lolamim Yitzror Yitzorachim Et Nishmato Adonai unachalato, ve'yanuach b'shalom al mishkavo, v'nomar amen. Passionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, who shine as the brightness of the firmament, unto the soul of Arthur Hooberman, Doctor, who has ended eternity, and in whose memory we offer charity. God of mercy, let him find refuge in your eternal presence, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated.
This concludes the service here at the chapel. The interment will take place at Memorial Park Cemetery. For those who will be driving to the cemetery, we'll be lining up in our parking lot. We ask to have your headlights and headlights on while you're driving the procession, and drive as close as safety permits to the vehicle in front of you. The family will be coming back for Shiva this evening to our chapel here at Chicago Jewish Funerals from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. For those that are here, you know where it is, and if you're on the Zoom, the address is on the website. The following individuals have been asked to act as pallbearers: Peter Stussy, Gary Fisher, Howard Tenner, Jay Weisbach, John Richards, Tim Lastingi, Jake Bittrin, and Ben Huberman. If we can have all the pallbearers come forward and have everybody please rise as we escort the casket from the chapel.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. Yes, baby. Ooh, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Ooh, baby, I needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. I needed someone to understand my ups and downs, and there you were. With sweet love and devotion, deeply touching my emotions. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. I wanna stop and thank you, baby. Hey now, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Oh, baby, baby, how sweet it is to be loved by you. Yes, it is. Close my eyes at night and wonder what would I be without you in my life. Everything was just a bore.